CJ Gardner Johnson is returning from injury. That's the great news. But the Detroit Lions are making the right move on this. Dan Campbell says, I'm not going to jeopardize our team or Ducey in bringing him back recklessly because Iffy Melifonwu is playing well. The defense is playing well, only gave up 21 points to a Cowboys team that's been averaging 30 plus at home. And one of those touchdowns was a 90-yard busted play. So the defense is playing well. Ducey's upset about it or could get frustrated about it, but Dan Campbell got right out in front of it and said, I'm going to talk to him directly, let him know his role, and let him know that this is the plan going forward. And I love that. And I think it's a great opportunity for the Lions to bolster the defense as they get into the playoffs, but not rush things. Also, I have one other thing I'm going to share that the Lions made another good move on. But let's take a look at this CJ Gardner Johnson situation. Again, Ducey, he said, first of all, I love Ducey. He's a competitor. He wants to play, blah, 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 every snap, all that. But I think between myself and Aaron Glenn, when those come up, and when he says those, he's talking about injured players getting healthy, we're very direct. We tell it from the get-go. Here's why. And look, Ducey's a pro. He wants to play. He wants to be a part of it. Doesn't mean that he has to like it, but when he's on the field, he's going to give it what he's got. The most important thing, and I think we're all open and direct with each other, they know where we're coming from and they know where we're coming from. So he's saying, I understand that CJ Gardner Johnson might be frustrated about his role when he comes back, but we are not going to jeopardize what we have just because, like, oh, injured player's back, come on in. It doesn't work like that. He's been out since week 2. I mean, a lot's happened. 4 months has gone by, and now he's back. So Dan Campbell, I love that. Integrate him slowly, but don't rush it and get him back to where he needs to be. I love that. Next thing is this. You've probably seen this story by now. Aaron Glenn was voted by the players as the top defensive coordinator. So this says a lot about a leader of men, his play calling, his design. And so the Lions quietly made a right move here by not getting rid of Glenn when it was getting a little dicey there in a few points in 2021, 2022, this year. And I just think that's the right absolute move. And it shows, I don't think he has the players, right? You look at the players on the current team, who is the most talented defense he's had, and it's still not fully that talented, but getting there. Iffy Melifonwu really changes the secondary. Love that. Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive line. But again, those defensive tackles aren't very strong. Linebackers are good, not great. There's more talent there. And you've seen over the last few weeks, the defense has really settled down. They look a lot better. And it shows in people are saying, yes, Aaron Glenn is really like him. Let's talk about why guys would say that he is the number one guy. Not to be cliche or simple about it, but he's a player's coach. He played the game. He's literally sat in these seats in the locker room. I believe that's why he's so well liked. Relationships. We know his goal. We have the same goal. We're trying to get a ring. We're trying to win it all. And if that's not what's on your mind in AG's words, then you can go. It's our mentality. It's why we're all brought together. It's his mentality. We love him because he's all about winning, getting the job done. Aaron Glenn is a good coach. There's a reason he gets, we talked about this in a video about how it's going to be weird when we want this guy to get fired and he might leave the team because he gets a head coaching job. It's like, that'd be awesome if he gets a head coaching job. The same guy we want fired. It's kind of weird because we do know he would make a great head coach. He does seem like a leader, more of a leader type, but tactically we were all frustrated about him, what he was doing defensively. But I go back to the personnel, and I just don't think we're as talented defensively as we all think or hope we are. And that's only building. And who knows, maybe he is gone after this season and he's a head coach somewhere. Fine. It doesn't even matter at that point. But the Lions it's proof that they made the right decision. Don't bail on your guy. We are what we are. Can the defense hold in there and our offense runs the show? We need our offense to score. And if they don't, we're not going to win. And we know that, and we've got enough talent on offense to win. But if we don't, we're just not going to. Next thing, Matt Stafford and the Rams resting players. They're in the playoffs. They don't care who they play. So it makes it really interesting for the Lions because it's very simple. Most likely Rams or Green Bay. If the Rams win, they play the Rams. If the Green Bay, that's simple. But the Rams play the 49ers. 49ers might be resting people, don't know. But Green Bay has Chicago. If Green Bay gets in, Rams lose, then we play Green Bay. Don't like that at all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you rather play the Rams or the Packers? I would rather play the Rams just because an in-division game feels weird. It just, it's like, gosh, I just don't like that at all. Give me the Rams all day. Come from West Coast to East Coast or East, whatever. And really have to come and play us. Look at the other teams. You got Packers, don't like that. Seattle, don't like that. Saints and Vikings, great. We'll take it all day. So there's a lot of different scenarios. The Rams resting people, I think is the right move. I think we should be resting people just because we're the third seed. We would need the Cowboys and the Eagles to both lose this week. And we need to beat Minnesota, who Minnesota's still playing for their playoff lives. So it could be a tough game. Could be a physical game. I don't know, but I would like us to, rather than playing, would prefer us resting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments there. But man, you look at this and it's like, okay, I don't love any of the teams that we could possibly play, and that's okay. It's playoff time. You're playing a good team. Like there's no gimmies in the playoffs. They did change it from 6 teams to 7 teams 4 or 5 years ago. What, it doesn't matter. Whatever. You got to win 3 games to get to the Super Bowl. I don't know. And the Lions can do it. And that's what we learned. And that's why it's like so frustrating and disappointing when we went to Dallas, beat them, right? We all know it. And it's like we can play with anybody. Dallas at their place, the whole thing. And if you look at the bracket as it were right now, if the playoffs started today, if we win and Dallas wins, we would meet in week 2 of the playoffs at Dallas. Oh my gosh, here we go. So it's exciting and scary all at once because I don't know. I feel like this is a team that could seriously go to the Super Bowl. Like I would not be surprised. Also, I would not be surprised if they lost in the first round. At home, the whole thing. Like we have seen atmospheres at Ford Field that are just off the charts. Thanksgiving, lose to the Packers. The first home game of the season, Seattle, lose. So the environment matters, but does it at times? So it's exciting to see what the playoffs will bring. I think the Lions are in great shape. Can't wait to get it going. Let's just get this thing going. Stay healthy in this last week. That's the only thing we're thinking about. Stay healthy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next